Good evening, everybody. We're running a little bit behind tonight, but welcome to tonight's episode of ERP. Three little letters that tonight stands for Eatin' Raisin Popsicles. You can purchase those now at our store. That's rpgswitherp.horse. I'm not sure what happens if you do go to that link, but
Hold on.
somebody, if they want to give that a try, or if you want to buy that domain name, we will probably end up paying handsomely for it sometime down the road.
It's not owned currently. I need to buy it.
/horse. Picking up where we last left off. The Devil's Advocates, after triumphing in the ruins under the remains, took the spoils of war, the compulsive liar, to Samora Deepblade, which they traded in their compulsive liar for 2 potions of an indiscriminate make that are known to cure the infection or the pregnancy of a slad. Quirin took one of these potions, was cured of the slad infestation, and promptly threw up a tadpole, which was unpleasant. The party decided to find a local tavern, sit down for the evening, gather their thoughts, gain some rest, have a couple drinks. In the morning, when they came back downstairs, they were greeted by Dean Victor Latimer, who, admittedly, knew where they were, knew what they were doing, and knows exactly where they need to go at that particular moment. Getting into the carriage with the Dean, who we now know is the owl of the flock, an awkward conversation was had. Not much was gleaned. Zane's anger was made very apparent, and you were all let off just in front of the Synetius household, where, for the most part, you all went your separate ways. Zaz, Alastair, and Mo, following Mo's lead, you went down to the shore, just kind of south of the docks, if you look at your map of Redwater, where you once again waded into the water of the Jade Basin to speak with the entity in the lake known as Alganod. Mo, you were told that if you wanted the other Raven's Queen's projection, you would need to discover the full names of the 2 other members of the flock. Alastair, you tried to get some info. It didn't have too much to offer, but you believe you have an ally in Alganod. Zaz, you were spoken to by this Zuktmoy once again, explaining to you that you had done well with following her orders in an unexpected manner, and that you will probably be contacted again. Zane, you had a very uncomfortable conversation with your parents, describing where you were, what you were doing, and that unfortunately, right now, it's not financially in the cards for them to leave Redwater. And finally, Quirin, deciding not to waste any time in order to get through this mysterious tome that you had been given, you decided to head out to the backyard of the Synetius household, plopping yourself down underneath the tree in the back. You were spoken to by something who told you that the person you're about to meet, the man you're about to meet, is a friend, and you should listen to him. So, that's where we all pick up. So, at this point, Quirin, still in the backyard of the Synetius household. Zane, you're inside with your parents, and the other 3, you're at the shore. At this point, it's probably somewhere around noon, 1 o'clock. You know that there is a lecture coming up at the College of Ioun. That's not tomorrow, but the day after. So, seemingly having a day and a half to do as you please. Devil's advocates, what would you like to do?
I don't know about you all, but I need to go and find a cloak right now. So if anyone would like to join me and do some shopping, this is the time.
One that will help you avoid the whoever those people are.
A man can have many reasons to want a cloak. But yes, that's absolutely true. I don't want to be seen. I lovely.
Oh. I'll follow him, and see what sort of horrible shit we can get up to.
Okay. Zaz, you are with these two at this point. Are you following as well?
Yep.
Okay. So, you're looking for someone that would sell a cloak. Go ahead and roll. Well, let me ask you this. Are you planning on looking for a cloak in the boroughs section of the city? Do you want to head into the docks? Or do you want to head even deeper to, say, the Scholars Ward or City Center?
Where would I find something that's maybe a little bit nicer, possibly magical? I'm not exactly sure how much money I've got.
You can make just a general perception check for me, because you guys are right by the docks right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a general perception check if you don't mind.
Have my macros on this thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Let's see.
Oh, excuse me. I do feel a sneeze coming on, so bear with me here.
Okay. There's a bear with you? Not great.
7. By looking over at the docks, you can tell that that's probably the utilitarian section of town. So not there.
I'm gonna start walking towards the Scholars Ward or City Center.
Okay. Are you leading the way?
Yes.
Survival check, please.
Oh no.
Survival check will be used whenever navigating around a city to find directions. This is a large city. It's confusing. Buildings everywhere. 15. Perfect. So you're heading towards the Scholars Ward, you said?
Yes.
The walk takes you a little while. The docks at this time of day are fairly busy, especially with Guild's Rest being just a few days past. You get the idea that the dock masters and the sailors and stuff are really making up for the lost day of work. There's a general hustle and bustle. People seem to be moving just a little bit faster, get that little bit of an extra push. So it takes a while to meander your way through the crowd. But with relative ease, you do find yourself at the Scholars Ward. The strange ivy-like plants growing up the buildings, and younger citizens walking around. At this point, are you looking for a cloak maker? Are you looking for a cloak vendor?
Yeah, like someplace that I don't know. I suppose I haven't actually looked for a cloak, so this isn't.
Okay, so go ahead and make an investigation check, please.
Investigation. The 8.
Looking around, you see a lot of what could be described as like stationery and reagent purveyors. You can't really find a tailor or really a clothing store anywhere around here. You get the feeling, though, that this ward is made for students.
Is there not one cloak place in this whole place? Does anybody know? You there? Hi.
Make a persuasion check, please.
Oh, okay. Oh my god. 10.
Okay. The half elf that you're waving to, you kind of get her attention. She looks over and goes, "Yes."
I'm looking for a place that sells cloaks, possibly magical ones. Am I in the right place?
No, not really. I can't exactly direct you. I'm sorry, I have to go, but maybe check city center.
All right,
And she takes off on her way.
you've got beautiful eyes. All right, city center, I suppose.
Zaz and Mo, what are you doing during all of this?
Laughing at Alastair's troubles.
You're having a little bit of Schadenfreude.
Yes.
All right, Zaz.
Trying to keep an eye out and see if anything catches my attention.
Are you still practicing with the immovable rod?
Of course.
I hate you. I just remembered that as I'm imagining you three walking. I'm reminded of what I have done.
If we're stopped right now just watching him, I have it kind of propped up in my arm leaning on it.
Okay. All right. So anytime Zaz is traveling at this point, we should be imagining that you're using the immovable rod to the best of its ability.
Of course.
Excellent. All right. So, Alastair, you're making your way to city center with these two in tow?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Go ahead and make a, you know what, this doesn't take a survival check because a scholar's ward is fairly small. So you make your way into city center. The hustle and bustle that you saw in the docks reflected here. A lot of businesses seem to have people going in and out very quickly, as if to make up for the lost day's work. People are generally keeping to themselves. There's not as much, what should I say, socializing as there was the last time you were here. Go ahead and make an investigation check to look for what you're looking for, I suppose is the nicest way to put it.
2. I'm looking for something that says cloaks or something that maybe rhymes with cloaks.
You don't see anything that says cloaks, and you don't see anything that, to your knowledge, rhymes with cloaks.
I see a lot of blokes around here.
Go sit in the corner, please.
I don't.
You kind of, at this point, Alastair, you kind of stand in the middle of the square, just, nothing rhymes with cloak here.
Is there anything? Is there anything that would catch my eye, be of, of a different variety?
You could go ahead and make a perception check.
I can do that. $11.
Everything in city center, for the most part, is very, how should I say, regimented. It's very kind of blocky and everything in its place, at least in the town square where you currently are. The only thing that's really catching your eye right now is the shine of the coins at the bottom of the fountain in town. It seems to be the brightest thing in this particular section. There's no overly flashy signs or anything. And just as you're about to kind of turn back to your companions and express your dismay of not being able to find what you're looking for, something off to your right catches your eye, a gleam similar to that of the coins at the bottom of the fountain. And looking past the initial stores, maybe 2 or 3 streets down, you see poking out just barely over the top of the rooftops, a small, very shiny silver rod, maybe.
Does it look like sort of thing that Zaz is currently leaning
Not with an 11, it doesn't.
Zaz, you're fond of rods. What does that look like? Is that rod?
Please don't start saying that. I'm not Zane. We didn't dish.
I nearly spit out my coffee.
Can I roll an investigation or perception?
For this would be a perception check, yeah. 15. You're not entirely sure what it is, to be honest, but it does appear to be kind of bulbous at the end, with a hole through the bulbous section.
I'm gonna relay that to Laster.
Alright, I'm gonna make a mental note of that. Has any of you seen anybody that says, like, fabric or clothing or anything? I'm so lost.
If I'm looking for it, would I have to roll like an active perception, or can I go?
It'd be an active investigation.
Ooh, okay. Nope.
Nope. You ain't found shit.
How is it so hard to find a cloak in a city like this? I mean, we could probably go steal one. Off of, like, somebody. Or pay someone there.
I mean, it's a pretty big city. I'm sure we could find something.
He's also pretty short, so he wouldn't have to really care about what sort of cloak he's wearing.
I'm not short. Just because I'm with, like, several freaks of nature doesn't mean I'm short.
I can see over the top of your head.
Mo,
Yes.
can you do me a favor and make a perception check, please, as you're talking to Alastair?
Yeah. $11. Not great.
You also see that silver rod.
Alright, well, I suppose we're going to, just keep carrying on into the city. Find some sort of clothier or fabric person.
So what are
Not
you
like
guys
a
doing?
person made of fabric, but like a person who sells it.
So what are you guys doing?
I'm just gonna keep walking in the direction to the next place.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
I'm so bad at this.
Maybe someone else should be looking with you.
Nope. Nope.
No.
I'm leading this pack.
Mo, if you want to be looking for it as
12.
well, roll an investigation yourself.
I'm gonna look for that place with the large rod. I don't know if that's the correct.
You're heading. Are you heading in that direction separately?
Are we heading in that direction, or
No, you're not. It's so you guys are kind of headed west, and this building will be to the north of you, like a couple streets down.
I'll leave that be, but I'll make a perception check.
Okay, be investigation.
Oh, sorry. Investigation.
Okay.
This is this is the hardest puzzle we've come across since the door.
So as
idiots.
As these three meander aimlessly, looking for somewhere that sells cloaks, deep in the heart of Redwater, Zane, you sit in the dining room still with your parents. It's kind of somber. Orville kind of scratches at your leg and asks to be picked up.
I guess I pick him up.
Your dad kind of goes, oh, okay. I need
What?
to. Well, I'm having a bit of surprise made for Orville's birthday. I need to actually go and check in on that. So, I'm going to head over to the college. He looks over at Janira. If maybe you and Zane want to get up to something, or he kind of looks out the back out a small window, and goes, and maybe keep our large guests entertained. I need to see to this because I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Zane, I haven't been saying anything, but speaking of work, the dean has been asking about you.
I've spoken to him.
And what did he say?
Zane kind of just like looks out a window, kind of. There's a lecture, at the college in a few days that I'd like to attend.
Yeah. That should be an interesting one. The dean himself has organized it. He organized another one a few weeks back regarding this crazed worshipper of Asmodeus. So this one should be a little bit tamer. All right. I'm going to head out. He kind of stands up awkwardly, just, as you do after you've just had a fairly upsetting conversation with somebody. He kind of stands up and goes, I'll be back in a few hours. He kind of grabs his satchel and stuff and heads out the door. And Zane, you're left alone in the kind of dining area with your mother. She's not crying, but you can tell that she's incredibly upset. She kind of looks up at you and gives you a half smile and says, so, I'm gonna make 2 cakes. One for Orville, and one for you and your friends. Do you have any suggestions?
I'm not quite sure what they enjoy.
Okay. There is a recipe I've been meaning to try. Maybe I'll give it a try on all of you. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. As for little Orville there. Sorry, honey, you were going to say something?
No, you go first.
I was thinking oatmeal for Orville.
Zane cracks a smile. He can't help it. Cute.
Go ahead and make a intelligence check.
Intelligence, okay. A 16. Interestingly enough, you remember, and you're not sure how you remember this, but
you remember that Orville's favorite food in the world is blueberries.
Mom, do you want me to go out and find some blueberries for Orville's cake? I think that would be cute.
She goes, oatmeal blueberry. I think that would work. If you don't have anything to do today, I could use the hand getting groceries.
Zane shrugs. I'll be right back. And I head into the backyard.
Okay. Walking into the backyard. At this point, Quirin, I'm going to say that you can knock another hour off of your book.
Yep.
The voice that you had heard has come and gone. And instead you were greeted with the presence of one Zane Snedius.
Let me guess. They're staying.
Yeah.
Figured that.
Hmm.
What are you thinking?
A lot of things. Do you want to help me and my mom bake a cake for my dog?
The baking is like the tiny cookie things, yes?
Exactly. But this time a little more on the grandeur side.
Okay.
So I guess I lead him inside.
Okay. You kind of go back inside and you see Janira has kind of put on an apron and she's starting to and Zane, this isn't a surprise to you because you've seen your mother bake before. You know it's her profession. Quirin, much like you'd expect the woman that birthed Zane Snedius, every ingredient brought out has a place, is incredibly well organized, and meticulously labeled, to the point that the containers have lines on them showing exact measurements required for baking. She kind of turns and goes, so, I need blueberries, and I need, I'm going to need some more oats. Little out, your father likes his oats in the morning for whatever reason. You know, marry a baker, and you don't like scones, you like oatmeal, but it is what it is. So if you two wouldn't mind to, heading out and grabbing those, it'd be very much appreciated.
All right. And I put on a happier face for the sake of my mother, and I say, Quirin, shall we?
I am, opened up the sugar container and taking a very big smell, half my face inside of it.
Okay. It's not an unusual smell to you, actually, Quirin. Go ahead and make an intelligence check to identify where you recognize the smell from. 21. You know where this smells. You know this smell exactly. There was a reed, a kind of a thick trunk that grew at the base of the mountains in a small marsh. That when your family wanted a treat or something a little bit sweeter for that Goliath sweet tooth, they chop it down, take the bark off, and you would actually chew on the inside, this fibrous inside, and it gave off a smell similar to that of kind of a raw sugar, and it immediately takes you back to home. Janira kind of looks at you and goes, have you had sugar before?
Not this kind. And I'm gonna take a scoop and just pour it into my mouth.
Janira goes, no.
Oh no, not the same. Not the same.
supposed to be mixed into things and melted down. It's refined. She
Ugh.
goes, I think it's refined from some form of plant at this point. I'm not entirely sure.
Done by mountain. Used to eat the bark of it. He kept off, sorry. Yeah, let us go. Put the
Zane,
container
if
down.
you wouldn't mind grabbing a pound of sugar as well, please.
All right.
Okay.
Sugar, oats, blueberries. Let's go. And I take Quirin out the door.
Okay. So, because now we've got 2 shopping groups, apparently.
Oh, we got side quests today, boys.
All right. What part? Okay, actually, Zane, make. I need you to make an intelligence check. Make a. Let's call this a history check.
Oh, okay. History. Oh, it's the same as my intelligence. 12! I'm fucking dumb!
You can't remember the exact location of where your mother purchases her baking supplies, especially in this kind of setting. This is an out of context thing. In this kind of setting, baking supply stores, not a common thing. You kind of remember the direction. You know it's in city center, but that's about it.
This way, and I point and I start walking.
Okay, so you're leading the way. Zane, you don't need to make a survival check to get your way through Redwater, as it is your home turf. You both find your way to city center. Could I get you both to make perception checks, actually, as you two are walking through the Scholar's Ward?
Perception check.
Yep. It's interesting that you two are together because you're both going to be looking for different things. Okay?
Fuck.
Okay. All right. Good to know. You don't see shit. Let me just rip up that note right there. Okay. God damn, guys. Just rolling like garbage today.
Yep.
Except for, ooh, do I remember where I smell sugar from? You find your way into city center. As I stated before, it's busier. Everyone's kind of got their head down, trying to make up for lost time. What kind of store are you looking for, specifically?
Just a standard grocery store.
You're looking for a grocery store, not
A
any kind of
grocer.
supply store? Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Investigation. Ah, dang!
Oh, Christ, here we go. You're kind of at a loss. Everything kind of around the market square is a fairly mundane, a mundane shop. The closest thing you can find, there's a fishmonger with a really crappily hand-painted sign that says "The Codfather." But other than that,
God damn it.
You're horrible.
thank you.
Now-
Are you fucking kidding me? Can I look again?
Quirin, go ahead and make an investigation check. 'Cause I'm assuming that you're passing on to Quirin that that's what you're looking for.
Can he roll with advantage?
No.
Wait, the fuck? There we go, 19.
19.
Suck it.
Interestingly enough, you kind of having that taste of sugar. Sorry, I just got a message here that tickled me. First off, no. Do you want to? Okay, before I do you want to share that with the class? Corey, What you
I
just
said,
me?
I said, please make that rod that we've been looking at the flagpole for a store called the Rod Father.
Radar,
Awful.
shut your mouth.
Oh, they're
Okay.
brothers.
Godfather, the Rod Father. There's a fucking gym next door called the Bod Father. Anywho, this could be a rabbit hole that we're not going down right now.
Gardening center called the Sod Father.
Okay, stop.
I swear to God, I will leave this campaign.
Okay, sorry. Sod Father's good.
I'm getting flashbacks to the other night.
I know.
with the,
Okay, so back at it. Whew, brr. Quirin, having just gotten a mouthful of sugar, the smell of that is kind of like, have you ever gotten drunk on an alcohol and the next time you have it, you even smell it, you get that kind of flashback? You get kind of that feeling. And it's to the north. You get that smell of sugar.
This way. They head towards it.
I follow.
Okay. So you walk to the north, a couple shops in, and past the town square, the shops get much more eccentric. Large signs, different statues and stuff on top. And next to a shop called So Nice, there is one called the Baking Note, which has quite a large, what appears to be sign decorated as if it was icing on a cake. This might be the place.
This looks about right. And I start heading in.
Same.
Okay. So, heading in. It's a small store, but have you guys ever been in a bulk barn or anything like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's kind of that idea where there's a whole bunch of these
Ye old bulk barn.
the old bulk barn, yeah. But it's all of these large containers with lids labeled with, flour, whole grain flour, sugar, salt, refined sugar, all these various baking things, as well as a collection of fresh fruits and stuff, and a kind of small kiosk type thing at the counter. It's bright. It's kind of brightly lit by white crystals on the walls, and there is a female goblin standing behind the counter. Big grin. Looks like a lighter green, just due to the amount of flour and stuff on her face. She kind of goes, "Hello, welcome.
Hello.
What can I get for you?"
We're looking for oats.
Okay,
Some sugar,
right?
blueberries if you have them.
She kind of. Oh, let me 1 sec. You know what? I'm gonna roll for this. Okay. She kind of turns. She goes, I think we have about maybe 2 pounds of blueberries left. They go very quick.
Okay. Out of character, Michelle doesn't just buy blueberries, and she certainly doesn't buy them by the pound.
Right.
How many blueberries is a normal amount of blueberries?
Why don't we just buy 1 pound and let the dog eat it? It is
Quirin, we're not buying a pound of blueberries.
It is his birthday, after all.
Yes, but I don't want him getting sick. God damn it, guys! How many? Not out of character. How many fucking blueberries do you
There's
fucking
approximately 3.5 cups of blueberries in a pound, or 195 to 210 fresh blueberries in 1 pound.
buy? Okay, we need like 2 cups of blueberries.
Okay, so they unfortunately the blueberries are sold by the pound.
Okay, 1 pound of blueberries.
She goes, okay, you can just pick up the blueberries over there, and then as for your sugar and your oats, it's kind of help yourself. Fill up the bag, I weigh it here, and we'll come to an agreeable charge.
Okay. I go and I take the blueberries by the pound.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna take one of the bags and just start shoveling in sugar with
Hey,
my hand.
hey. Whoa.
There is scoops.
I've already like done 3 or 4 at this point.
Okay.
Okay, all right, that's good. We don't need that much.
Okay. There's still oats.
Okay, and I go and I take a scoop and I start gingerly pouring in the oats into a bag.
Okay. At this point, you both walk up to the counter, and she goes, "All right, you found everything okay?"
Yes, thank
Music
you.
is
Actually,
intense for checkout.
yeah, right. Can I make an
They're
investigation check to see what else they might have around here?
Roll for
What are-
initiative.
What are you looking for in particular?
Nothing like healing herbs or anything like that would be around, would they?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay.
I'm getting some Food Wars vibes from this music.
21.
Okay. There is a sign behind her on the wall that says, "Ask about our signature, our special ingredient."
This made the store go from wholesome to shady real quick. Okay, so we're at the counter then?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna ask about those secret herbs. Are we talking KFC or are we talking Sweet Green?
She kind of looks at you as you're saying this.
No, I don't say that.
What do you say then?
What of this secret ingredient or this secret herb?
Oh, I can't tell you where we get it, but it's this little packet of dust that you just sprinkle on top of your baked goods, and everyone loves them.
Is this MSG?
No. Well, kind of, but no.
Okay, can I get the smallest dosage, the smallest amount I can get of that?
15 gold.
I look at Quirin. Let's do it.
Buy supplies?
No, let's get this little secret thing. Could be fun. Could make the food taste great. Although it's my mother, it already tastes great.
Are we buying drugs again?
The counter owner goes, "Oh, no, it's not drugs. It's completely legal. It's just a lot of people don't like being tricked."
What do you mean by don't like being tricked?
You sprinkle this dust over top of the baked good, and it just makes it delicious, no matter what you're eating. And if it's already delicious, it makes it more delicious. Just
You know
there's
what? My
something
mom could get really insulted if I bought this. Never mind.
Oh, just
Let's-
saying, if you ever need somebody to eat something, this'll do it.
You know what?
and
That's
they'll
not a
let you-
terrible idea. Let's
let
buy
their guard
some of it.
I will also
Okay.
take one.
You're each gonna take one. They're 15 gold per dose.
Mhm.
Okay, great for a first date. You want to impress
Are
someone.
we talking about sprinkling it on our dicks?
Are we talking about roofies?
Is that in character?
No.
Okay.
This is
She
just
goes,
the inner
"Okay."
monologue of Zane.
magical dick powder?
Oh my god. No. Spanish fly. All right.
Here's sugar dick.
She goes, "Okay, so 15 gold each dose. That's 30 gold. Plus all the supplies comes to 1 gold and 20 silver. So in total, we're looking at 31 gold, 20 silver for your purchase.
I pay 15.
I
Okay.
pay 15. I
Be
guess.
16.
Oh, sorry.
16.
I wasn't.
Yep.
And what
Because
is
it's
this powder?
You can both add 1 dose of Dust of Deliciousness to your inventory.
You sneaky scamp.
Yeah, this is a canon item. Just so you are aware what the Dust of Deliciousness does. Any food you sprinkle it on tastes better. But give me 1 sec so I have this right. I just have to pull up my notes. Let's see here. Do apologize here. There we go. It provides disadvantage on wisdom checks and wisdom saving throws to anything that eats it,
Awesome.
making them susceptible to things. Goblin goes, all right, if there's anything else I can help you with, please let me know.
Okay, thank you. Then we suppose we step out.
Okay. Are you guys heading back to the Snedius household?
Do you have anything else to do in town?
The only thing I have planned to do is read my book. The making the cake, was it? Is new.
Yes.
So let's just do that.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Star swipe. Back to the 3 blundering idiots. Zaz, Mo, and Quirin.
Wherein?
Quirin. Zaz, Mo, and the opposite of Quirin, Alastair.
You know, now that I think about it, Zane could probably just turn me into a bug or a crab or something again. I've been really thinking about this rod. God, that sounded... How about we go there and check that out?
Okay.
Sure.
Go ahead and make a survival check. You guys are just walking in circles at this point.
There's like...
All of us, or just him?
You're all in a group together, just kind of walking like, where do we get a cloak?
Oh,
How
I
can
more
we
meant
so-
for survival check.
No,
You
just
all.
whoever's Alastair in order to lead you guys back to that rod.
Nope.
You think you see it off in the distance, and you guys travel for maybe a good 10 minutes, a lot farther north than you think, and what Alastair instead had spotted was a very shiny flagpole.
This has got to be the place.
Mo and Zaz, you know very well this is not the place.
Can I kind of gauge based on how far we travel? Turn south and look for it.
Survival check.
Survival. All right, 1 second. I don't know what mine. Oh, good. Nothing. Fuck you, character sheet.
I will allow a 10. You're able to find your way back to the actual market center, and you're kind of looking around. You're like, okay, there's that shiny rod. And as you head in that direction, it becomes very apparent what that shiny rod, quote unquote, is, as next to a baking supply store called the Baking Note, there's a store called So Nice, as in SEW. And on the sign is a large spool with a needle sticking out of it for sewing. You know, engorged at the end with a hole like a sewing needle.
I'm gonna look at Alastair, kind of do that thing where you kind of like exasperately stick your arms out and just point at the store.
Okay.
But- No, I've got no need for a sword. I've got one.
I'm just gonna look at Zaz and shake my head.
Oh, it's got right. Okay. I'm glad I you know what? I'm
you-
just gonna go in.
Good.
Okay. Who's all going into So Nice?
Me.
Okay. Zazimo, are you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. I'll follow Zaz. I'm gonna try and keep my my distance from Alastair. I don't know if it's contagious.
Let me get a sip of coffee here. Walking into the store, it's musty. It's dark. and almost every surface, minus the floor, is covered in soft fabrics. You kind of hear a... You look and you see what looks like a cat kind of run off into the corner. To which you hear a... Meow, meow. And you look, and there's another cat. And another. And another.
What does it smell like in here?
Cat.
Ugh.
And then, after looking around and counting, maybe 9 to 10 cats, on the 11th one, you kind of make a double take and go, wow, that's a big cat. Oh, wait. As a tabaxi, a tabby-colored tabaxi kind of walks forward and goes, yes, hello. My name is Kiyoshi. What can I get for you today?
Hello. I'm looking for a cloak.
Oh, well, then you're in the right place. We have many cloaks. You're so very shiny.
Thank you. You're very soft looking.
Thank you. I just bathed. Kind of spits up a hairball. I'll clean that in a second. So you're looking for a cloak. Are you all looking for cloaks, or is it just the one of you?
So far, it's just me.
Just him.
Nope. Just him.
All right. What kind of cloak are you looking for? We have many different colors. We have red, we have green. You seem like a blue person, perhaps.
I've never been good with colors. I've usually go with grays and stuff. But what I'm currently looking for this cloak to do is to keep me obscured from prying eyes.
Yes. Okay, so perhaps a darker color.
Yes.
All right.
I
Kind of looks around for a second. How about this one here? And pulls out a cloak that's... You ever see those pictures of Vanta Black?
Yes.
It actually kind of has something like that going on. It goes, this is a magical one. It absorbs all light around it. It will help you stay hidden, especially in the shadows.
Yes. That sounds almost exactly like what I'm looking for. How much is that?
Well, this one in particular will cost you a mere 25 gold pieces. However, if you'd like to wait a day and let me do my work, I can perhaps fit it properly. I can add an insert or something along those lines.
Would I be able to pick it up tomorrow morning early?
Well, but of course.
Then, yes, let's do that. That sounds excellent.
What would you like done to it?
Would you be able to put something on there with the Platinum Dragon?
Are you actually asking for some kind of cross-stitch pattern, or maybe a patch of some sort?
You know what? I've surprised me. You seem very capable. I don't want to stifle your creativity.
Well, in that particular case, let me take a good look at you. And at this point, this tabaxi, which you assume had been hunched over now, stands up to its full height. It's now taller than the three of you. And it's very uncomfortable as this large, lanky cat person kind of comes up to Alastair and gives you a sniff and looks around. You hear a claw go against your arm. He goes, oh, very impressive, very shiny. Very interesting. Are you one for subtlety, or are you very much one that likes to make a dramatic entrance?
Oh, I want to be subtle, but that really has just twisted my arm. I need to know what this dramatic entrance is.
Well, you said surprise you, so I believe I'm going to do that.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I'm quite excited now.
As you should be. For all the work done, it will cost 50 gold pieces.
Oh, for sure. That is no problem to me.
Excellent. Kind of looks over at you, Mo, and goes, you also have an interesting aesthetic. Is there anything I can get for you?
I'm not sure if you can help me, but Do you know any craftsmen that are particularly skilled at working with making things out of the raw components of creatures?
Well, I myself am known to weave a wool cloth or two, but it depends on the type of creature you're talking about. Some creatures' pieces fall under a blacksmith, some fall under a tailor, and others more of an alchemist, if you will.
Something more clothing related.
Perhaps I'm not exactly the one to...
Do you know where such a person is?
I do not know of anyone here in Dragontail. I personally stay with my family. And as he says that, there is just a cacophony of meow, 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 meow. Just
Kitty.
cats everywhere. And at this point, you counted 10. You think you heard more than 10.
That's the effect.
It's unsettling. Yes. Actually, Radar, now is the time.
He's whispering
full-
to him.
The Foley is perfect.
Yeah. He goes, if I do hear anything, I will let you know.
Thank you.
And at this point, kind of like full like head tilt towards you, Zaz, and goes, interesting. And walks over to you and kind of drags up a very soft looking paw hand hybrid across your shoulder. Is this all organic?
Yep.
Where did you have this made?
Oh, here and there.
Interesting. I never thought to make a cloth out of moss, but I may give it a try myself.
Just remember where you got the idea from.
Do you have a name?
Zaz.
I'll remember that in case I need to trademark something. All right. Well, I must get to work. It is 50% down payment, with the other 50% upon delivery.
Oh yes, of course. Here, and I'll take the gold out.
25
Yeah.
gold for now. It'll be 25
Yeah.
gold when you pick it up. Yes. Excellent. Now, if you excuse me, I have much work to do. And I do have quite the idea for you. And he just kind of, like with cat-like speed and silence, vanishes around one of the clothing racks. And you're just left with the... Wow! 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 Just the sound of feline everywhere that
I'm
you
gonna
didn't
get
know you were hearing until this second.
I'm getting out of there.
Yep. Yep.
All right. At this point, what are you guys doing?
Go back to Zane's house?
Yep. That sounds about right.
Interestingly enough, as you exit the store, you kind of head down the street and through the Scholar's Ward, and you see two people walking, bags in hand, in a silhouette that can only be two people.
Should
One
we
is a
sneak
Goliath,
up on
one
them?
is a tiefling. What did you say, Mo?
We could sneak up on them.
And do what? Attack.
Surprised. Not everything involves combat, Alastair.
All right, let's do it.
Did those words just leave my mouth?
Okay, who is
Roll
sneaking
for-
up on Zane and Quirin?
Me.
Me.
Zaz?
We
No.
look to Zaz.
Okay, Alastair, you're at disadvantage.
Oh,
Your armor.
yes. Stealth check.
Stealth checks.
Oh boy.
Zane and Quirin, what is your passive perception?
15 for me.
Oh,
Okay.
13.
13, okay. 15 for Quirin. Zane, what is your passive perception?
I'm not sure how to find that.
Oh, that's bad.
What is the bonus you add to a perception check?
+2.
+2. So whenever I ask for a passive for anything, insight,
Mhm.
perception, whatever, it's
Yes.
just 10 plus the bonus. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I know D&D Beyond fills that out auto, so in
Yep.
case I do ask anyone else. So a 13 and a 4. So you two are Quirin and Zane. You two are kind of walking, making small talk, and what you hear behind you is clang, 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 clang,
Why do I suddenly feel something stupid behind me?
clang, 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 and then you hear Mo stub his toe and go, "Fuck!"
Yep, something very stupid. Ugh. It's such a nice day.
You turn around and you see Zaz standing in the distance, leaning on the immovable rod, just shaking his head disapprovingly. And you see Mo and Alastair kind of like in the Scooby-Doo pose. Like the
Zane
Scooby-Doo
pretends to be scared. Can
I'll
Mo
do that.
make a wisdom saving throw?
What? For what?
I got
Oh.
spooked. I got spooked.
Okay, Mo, make a wisdom save.
This is some intense music for this.
19. Okay.
Ah.
Not
So
19.
that is past your... So, were you trying to polymorph him?
Yep.
Okay,
Would have
that
been an
does...
octopus.
Oh. Okay, so Mo, you turn around and you feel Zane kind of goes, ah! It's just kind of like, actually, you know what? Zane, make a deception check.
Okay.
I'm watching this, and I'm just gonna shrug and point at Alastair in banishment.
Oh, okay. So with a
Okay.
1, we'll cover that in a second. With a 1, Zane, you turn around and go, "Oh no, a ghost!" And go to cast polymorph and Mo. You kind of all of a sudden you feel one of your arms get kind of heavy, and you look and you see suction cups. You're like, "I know what this is." You just kind of will it away and you stay, and you just look up and Zane is smiling. Quirin, read me banishment.
You attempt to send one creature that you see within range to another plane of existence. The targets must succeed on a charisma saving throw or be banished.
Charisma save, Alastair.
Talk about his wheelhouse.
I hope this is bad.
Jordan.
Oh, 30.
Damn it!
That's some godly numbers.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm really charismatic.
Oh God, you idiots. Okay.
That's marked off.
Yep. That's great. You kind of go and cast banishment, and Alastair just kind of blinks for a second. You
Oh,
felt the effects of
no.
some spell.
I feel like I've got a sneeze now.
You scared me.
So I did a good job. Mo, you shouldn't have stubbed your toe. What are you guys doing?
You guys want to go bake a cake with my mom for my dog's birthday?
Oh my god, yes I do. Let's go right now. That sounds delightful.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
walk up to the group and just kind of like, we used to kill things.
How come we never cuddle anymore?
Oh man.
All right. So at this point, the Devil's Advocates
We
make
hear a
their
couple
way.
saying that in the background.
Devil's Advocates make their way back to the Snedius household. Jira kind of looks around at everyone and goes, I guess I'm gonna have a lot of help, aren't I?
It's going to be a huge cake. It's going to be great.
I'll sit out.
No. Come on. You don't even do cakes where you're from.
I just
anyone's gonna
ate
sit
a
out, it's going to be
fistful
me.
of sugar. I'm good.
Okay, but you've never had that sugar in like a batter. It's going to be awesome. You get to lick the spoon and everything.
Yeah, sure, you get to lick the spoon. Yeah.
Okay.
What? My mother used to do that to me.
That's great. So, who's helping bake a cake?
Zane.
I will attempt. I'm sure if anybody looks at a place like the kitchen, it's me.
I'm heading
going to
back
be
to read.
No, I'm going to be forcing Quirin.
Okay. So, is everyone attempting to bake a cake?
Sure.
Sure.
Yep.
So at this
Great.
point, could I get each of you to make a performance check?
Ooh, I have. I'm proficient with.
Oh my god!
Yes!
Oh,
Performance check from everybody.
I love it. I love it.
Performance check?
Yeah.
Critical.
Oh God.
I got 17.
Why are we rolling high now?
I failed.
Here we go.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so with the devil's advocates baking a cake to gangster rap, Quirin, you find that you're a natural at this. Zane, maybe not so much.
I didn't inherit it.
At one point, you kind of knock over a thing of batter, and I'm gonna turn this music off. I'm sorry, it's so distracting.
Fucking great.
Anywho, sorry, it had to happen.
Make it slower.
Oh God. So at one point, Zane, you knock over a thing of batter, and your mom kind of nice goes, Zane, honey, Orville hasn't gone out yet today. Would you mind taking him out?
Sure.
Okay. Do you
Anybody
take
want to
Orville out?
come?
Everyone's
Alright,
just
guess I'm going alone.
baking a cake.
I'll go.
Everyone's just baking a cake.
I'm not helping.
Which-
Which I'll go along with.
Boo cakey.
Get
Oh
out
my
of the house now.
god.
So Zane, you put the lead on Orville, and Zaz, you're going with?
Yeah.
You make your way outside. The rest of you. Janira's kind of stirring the batter, and she goes, Quirin, it's very impressive. Have you ever baked before?
I do a lot of cooking in my tribe, not so much baking.
Okay. So she has two bowls in front of her, and she points to a smaller one. She goes to the three of you. Goes, okay, this is the oatmeal blueberry cake for Orville. It's probably not going to be very good for you guys. However, you three seem like the type who enjoy drinking and wenching.
I mean,
Well,
I try not to make eye contact.
it's
Quirin's behalf.
it's fine. It's fine. Oh shit. She goes, so this is called a cider cake. Do any of you guys by any chance have any cider on you?
I have 13 pints.
No. No.
Not that type. Not that type.
No.
What's wrong?
We do not need to see dead people.
You see dead people. We see dead people all the time.
I still have some meat, I believe.
She kind of looks. She goes, unfortunately, mead doesn't work. It needs to be cider. It's the
How many pints do you need?
This is corpse
All
fruit
right.
cider. It will show dead people.
oh,
no, it's
but
fine.
most of the alcohol is baked off.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be
It
alright.
shouldn't cause
Yeah.
any problems.
I'll pull two pints out.
Okay.
I'll just look at Janira and I'll go, "It's your call," and I just
Oh,
kind
the
of like.
baking will take all the effects away, I'm sure. I mean, it should.
I've got no doubts in your abilities. Here you are. Enjoy.
Mhm.
Oh God,
And
this
she
is.
pours the corpse fruit cider
Oh. No.
into the cake batter.
If you
As
guys
she's-
fucked this,
She stirs the batter up and goes, "It'll be fine. If it tastes bad, the other day I was over at the baking goods store. They sell a little something something to make it better tasting. It'll be fine." I have a very satisfied grin on my face right now.
You.
Zane and Zaz. Taking out Orville. Orville walks out to the park and does the thing that dogs do when you take them outside after being inside for a long day. At this point, it's been a long day of walking. The sun's kind of going down. Is there anything you guys want to say? Okay.
Barry White. The bard Barry White.
I'm just
Zane,
imagining the
go
both of us in quiet, just watching this dog poop.
Yeah, pretty much. Just awkwardly staring. Or Orville would be staring back, but he can't see you. Zane, go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
perception.
Come on, Zane. Find your girlfriend.
15.
You find your girlfriend.
Damn it. God damn it, perception.
As this little puppy runs up, it kind of bothers Orville while he's pooping, and you recognize Lucky. You know, the dog you named. And Faith kind of runs up and looks at the pair of you. Now, as we all understand, Faith speaks in sign. Zane, awaken mind. Zane, she signs to you. Where have you been? It's been 3 days.
She hasn't been around since I got the Zane napped, right?
No.
Oh,
No, she was there immediately after you got Zane napped.
Yep.
right, she was.
Sorry, she hasn't seen you since you guys went to the ruins.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the 3 days.
Okay, so I awaken bind back. It's sort of a long story.
She goes, you know, I'm glad you're okay. I even asked my uncle to message you. I know that can be unnerving.
Yes, it can.
It's kind of an awkwardness. Zaz, you're just kind of watching these two stare at each other. You
I was
know,
about to
like they're talking with their hands, essentially, because Zane's kind of doing the Italian thing, right? To over-exaggerate that, and Faith literally talks with her hands, right? Oh, is there a meme I need to see?
Yeah.
I swear to God, if it's Naruto.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually.
Acceptable pick on Naruto. Nice.
Yeah. She goes, okay. Well, if you want to hang out sometime, let me know. She kind of gives a coy smile, looks over at Zaz, looks over at you.
Sorry,
you doing,
what?
Zane?
Sorry?
Faith goes, if you kind of want to hang out sometime, you know, let me know. And looks over at Zaz, looks over at you.
Okay, sure.
She goes, all right. Your mom invited me over in 2 days for Orville's birthday. I'll bring Lucky.
Zane kind of chuckles.
Okay. She goes, I have to get going. She kind of waves to you, Zaz, like acknowledging that you're there.
I wave back.
She kind of takes Lucky and they head off. At this point, Orville's been done pooping for a while. It's impressive. It's a poop.
Can we get Orville to roll a performance check?
Yes, we can. Natural 20.
He did it real good.
I'm kidding you not. I look down and there's a tiny little kraken staring back up at me right now.
I was hoping for a natural 1 and have him howling throughout that entire talk.
It's just it's one of those poops that are in like a nice neat pile.
Yeah, it is. It's a poop.
Good job.
What are you two doing?
Pete.
Going back home.
Okay. By the time you guys get back in, the batter has been distributed into pans and has been put into the oven.
But who licked the spoon?
The spoon, all 5 of them, are still in the bowl, waiting to be licked. At this point, you two come back in, and Jaren goes, "All right, here we go," and gives each of you a spoon to lick.
Oh, yes.
Cue the ominous music.
Wait, the alcohol hasn't been baked out yet.
You don't
You
know
don't
it's
know
there,
that.
Zane.
I'm eating it.
I don't know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm
just
eating it.
staring at mine with the biggest frown on my fucking face.
Zane starts licking his spoon.
I notice Quirin, and I hesitate.
I'm just gonna slowly shake my head at him.
I'm gonna stick a spoon in my mouth.
Zane trusts his mother. He sticks a spoon in his mouth.
Who is putting the batter in their mouth?
Zane.
That sounds so bad. But
Mo.
Oh,
Wisdom
give me that
saves.
sweet baby batter.
Wisdom saves.
Wisdom saves.
Yeah.
Don't we
Another
have
one.
disadvantage because of the?
The dust
Thing?
isn't in it yet, no.
Oh, okay, okay.
You are also within Alastair's radius.
so +4.
Yes. Is the 6 with the +4, Zane?
Yes.
Oh shit. 20.
Okay. Interestingly enough, you do taste alcohol, but due to it being diluted, the required wisdom save of 18 is reduced to 15.
Oh.
You guys are very lucky.
I'm gonna give
With-
my spoon to Alastair.
Okay.
Definitely having that bad boy.
Counts for the same save.
Oh.
Everyone's enjoying their spoon, except for Quirin, who sits there angrily.
No, I'm just gonna
Staring at it.
slowly put it back into the bowl.
Okay.
What's wrong, Quirin? You're letting it go to waste.
I do not trust anything that has the cider in it.
Zane.
The cider?
There you go. Zane says this is the first mention that there's cider in this
Yes.
in this batter.
Alastair used quick fruit
Zane's eyes
cider.
go wide, but he doesn't say
I
anything.
walk into the backyard.
I don't see any dead people. You're all right. It's fine. Just eat. Just lick the spoon. It's the best part.
I'm gonna kind of like nod at guide Quirin and then just like walk away.
Okay. So, the Devil's Advocates, which the day prior had slayed a dragon, now sit in Zane's mother's kitchen, licking the spoon of a cake that they baked together. And that's where we're going to take our break.
She's like, thank fuck!
Peak
Perfect timing. I gotta go pick up my food.
D&D. I love it.
Back into it. You all enjoy your cake spoons. And a bit of time goes by as you sit there and you can smell the cakes baking, and eventually Janira pulls the cakes out and says, "Okay, at this point, there's really not much else you 5 can do. Yeah, so I'm just gonna decorate these if you want to all go about your business. Thank you all so much for your help.
It was a pleasure.
All
Are
right.
you still wearing that ostentatious gold armor?
It's my armor. And I don't know what ostentatious means. Fabulous? Very good? Very protective? Yes.
I'm gonna go in the backyard and
Okay.
relax.
All right. So at this point, is there anything else you guys want to do today?
Just read.
Yep.
Just read? All right. So at this point, you all go your separate ways. You do, at some point, the four who don't live at the Synedius household head back to the High Hopes Tavern. Quirin, are you reading well into the night, or what's your reading taking up?
I at least want to get a good 8 hours sleep.
You want at least a good 8 hours sleep. All right. So I'm going to say right now it's about 5 o'clock. What time do you want to wake up?
Don't have anything to do in the morning.
No, not really. Tomorrow's pretty much a free day.
About 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So, yeah, you guys can head back. You get an extra 6 hours of reading in. All right. So, at this point, the night goes on. Zane, a little bit later into the evening after everyone's left, your father does come home, holding a little baggie. He says, "Oh, do you know where I could find a laster?"
He went off to he went off for the night. Do I know
Okay.
where they're staying, Tanner?
Yeah, you know where the tavern is.
Okay. Do you want me to go with you?
Oh, it's not really time sensitive. It's just I have his have something of his I need to return.
Okay.
So when we see him, I'll give it back to him. But I don't want to forget this. Apparently, it's very strange and very magical. The students say, so let's keep an eye on that. And the night progresses. So at this point, you can all take a long rest. If anyone used spells, I know banishment and polymorph were attempted. You guys do gain those back.
Yep.
You do at this point. You guys have a free day. The lecture is tomorrow. Is there anything important you guys want to get up to today? I know, Alastair, there is a cloak for you.
Yeah, I'm going to cloak.
Okay.
Pay the
Alastair
rest
to cloak.
of the money.
Okay. So we'll get to that in a second. Does anyone else have anything in town they want to do?
I'm gonna go back to the Synedius household and read underneath the tree.
Okay.
I'll
you
follow
taking
Quirin over.
You're doing the same. Are you doing the same thing?
Yeah, I'll start on that book.
Okay.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I
Sorry.
don't have anything else to do in town.
Okay. You're just kind of taking a nice, easy days as.
Pretty well.
Okay. Awesome. Zane, anything in particular?
Nothing yet.
Okay. So, just for the sake of brevity, we're gonna kind of rush through this day because it is a downtime day. How long do you guys want to spend at that tree reading?
As long as I possibly can.
So you said you're up by 7?
Yep.
After getting some food into you, Mo, and I assume this is probably similar for you.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably about 8:30 by the time you guys get to the Sneddy's household. You're welcomed in, you're showed to the back. So it's about 9 a.m. It's a gloomy day, but it's not rainy by any means. Do you guys want to read from, 9 a.m. until, dark, or do you want to just go until the light stops?
Light stops, and then throughout the night again for me.
Okay. So, Mo is about the same idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys read from 9 until 11, that you can sorry. You guys can take 14 hours off of your books.
Woo-wee!
And that's your entire day, though. Be
Yep.
aware of that. Okay. Quirin and Mo, as you guys do pass through in that short time period where you're transferring from the dark outside back to the High Hopes Tavern. You do encounter Arthur, who mentions, Quirin, I am supposed to pass on to you that the lecture tomorrow starts at 10 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay? You're going to be going to the largest lecture hall. It shouldn't be too hard to find.
Largest lecture hall. What is a lecture hall?
He kind of smiles. He goes, there's quite a few buildings in the college. I'm sure you have walked through there. The largest building is the administrative building. You guys were there. The second biggest building.
Okay.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy your reading.
Is he out by the tavern with us?
No, you're passing through his home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
no, just making sure.
He lives here. You do encounter Zane at this point. Zane, I assume you're just kind of around the house enjoying your day.
Yeah, relaxing.
Are you just kind of going through your old things?
I suppose.
Okay, can you make an investigation check for me, please?
Okay. Oh, that's not a roll. That's
Ooh.
cake farts. Cause I really almost thought of sharing it, and then I was like, no, that's too much.
That's a little too much, yeah.
What's my investigation again? 11.
11. Going through your old books, and you do have quite the collection of books. You find one that you don't remember purchasing. It's kind of sitting atop what looks like a brown paper, as if it was unwrapped, kind of from this brown paper, and then just kind of left sitting there. There is a note on the front of it. It says, to Zane, from Janine, you'll need this. And as you lift up the note, the book's title is Demons and Devils, The Ordering of the Evil Planes.
Zane's gone white at this point.
You don't ever remember receiving this book.
How dusty is the book?
It's been sitting there a while. It's not like caked in dust, but it's about as dusty as everything else in your room that you haven't touched since you left.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I suppose I'll leaf through the book today.
Okay. We'll get to that in a second. Alastair. Make a survival check, please.
Boy. Oh, okay, that's right. 19.
You're able to find your way back to So Nice, actually relatively easily, now that you know to look for a big shiny rod. As you, enter into the tailor's shop, the tabaxi you met before goes, yes, you're back. Perfect. I have just the thing for you, but first, it is 25 gold extra.
Of course, here's 30.
Thank you very much. He kind of takes it and puts it away. He goes, so, you said you were looking for stealth, yes?
Yes, I'm looking for something.
However,
Oh.
when a large, muscular man walks into my shop adorned in gold, though you may try to hide it, I get the feeling there's points where you just want to flaunt it.
Smile.
So, what we have here, and he shows you the cloak before, the darkest black I possibly have. However, on the inside, and he turns it over and unfolds it, and what you see is a shimmering metallic gold interior lining that all across the back is a massive, like, stitched in portrait of the symbol of the platinum dragon in black thread.
My mouth is agape, and I reach out and grab and like just gingerly hold.
He pulls it away. He goes, but wait, I have a little bit more. Kind of runs his hand over it and he puts it on. As you see, it's wonderful. However, you said that you were someone to make a dramatic entrance, yes?
From time to time, yes.
He goes, right now we have a stationary cloak. However, and he steps and does kind of the Captain Morgan stance. And as he does that, the cloak begins to billow dramatically.
I fucking knew it.
He goes, this is an enchantment called the Cloak of Billowing, found in Xanathar's Guide. This is a canon item.
Yep.
You can add that to your inventory.
Yes!
He goes, and this is for you.
I don't know what to say. This is better than I could have possibly imagined. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
I'm going to tell everybody that if they need a cloak to come to you, because this is glorious.
Just, glorious! Sorry. God damn it. Oh, and I'm just seeing Alastair with the Cloak of Billowing with Bobby Roode's wrestling music in the background. He goes, all right, and the only thing I do ask is, I'm considering putting a sign out front warning people of the feline presence, because as it turns out, people are allergic to cats. So just warn them ahead of time, perhaps.
Yeah, sure. You know what I really am curious about is I haven't seen a single cat hair. Anything I've picked up. How do you do it?
I'm so glad you asked. I am so glad you asked. He kind of reaches in and he pulls out a small wooden handle that on the end is some kind of like semi-transparent bluish kind of ooze looking substance. I use this. I haven't quite thought of a name of it, but he kind of rolls it along himself and he shows it to you, and there's hair all over it which begins to dissolve.
That is very, very interesting. You know, one of our compatriots would be probably interested to look at that. I'll be sure to send him your way.
Would you like one? It is complimentary.
Yes, of course.
He hands it to you and says, be careful. Just grab the wooden handle. The top part is very sticky.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's for you. I'm so glad you asked. So, as well as the Cloak of Billowing, you can add a lint roller of gelatinous cube to your inventory.
Okay, perfect.
Fucking Jordan.
Oh, what now?
Okay, Tanner, you basically explained a shticky. So
Yeah. No, it's 110% what it is. It's a shticky that dissolves. Yeah, it's a shticky. All right. Well, I do have other commissions to do, so if you do excuse me.
Yes, of course. Have a good day.
And he vanishes before you finish your sentence.
And I'm going to pet a cat on the way out.
Make an animal handling check.
Okay, here we go.
It was a 1. Stop fingering me!
Are you fingering the boy?
Yes!
Damn it!
The cat fucking
How
explodes.
You actually spend a little bit longer petting that cat than you anticipated. Cat loves it. Matter of fact, You have to kind of fight to keep the cat in the store as you exit.
Nope.
No,
gotta
you
stay-
pet the
stay in there.
shopkeep.
Stay.
Oh, yes. Perhaps I should give you a refund. No, okay. So,
Oh.
anywho, fucking, yes, rub my belly. ERP.
ERP.
Has everyone else left the store by now?
Has left So
Yeah.
Nice?
Has left the store, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, before I leave, I want to kind of turn back and just like, hey, shopkeep, do you want to like double check the cloak?
Kind of looks at you and goes, perhaps. And he kind of comes around the corner. He's talking about your cloak, I assume?
Yeah.
He kind of looks and goes, interesting. It seems to grow in a woven pattern. I have to have a discussion with some herbologists, but if you come back to me sometime in the future, I may have something very unique for you, my friend.
Any other time I can, I'll pop by. I always like people who appreciate the foliage.
Indeed.
Bye.
Goodbye. It's gone again.
I'm just gonna close the door.
Excuse me. All right. Zane,
Mm-hmm.
you're flipping through that book,
Yes.
okay? I need you to make an Arcana check, please.
Okay. My numbers are very small. I can't read that. Give me a second.
Yep.
I think it's a 14.
Okay. You get through the first couple chapters. It's very interesting. It discusses quite a number of things in regards to what are considered the lower or the evil outer planes. The first few chapters more or less discuss the kind of the classification of certain devils, of certain demons. It discusses connections between what's known as the Nine Hells, the realm, the outer plane of the devils, and the Abyss, the realm of the demons, and how there is a eternal war waged often on the fields of the first layer of the Nine Hells, known as Avernus. It discusses the difference between Tanari demons and Oberith demons. It discusses how Asmodeus rules the Nine Hells from the bottommost layer, however, maintains a mysterious prisoner on the first layer of the Nine Hells.
Okay.
Certain names pop out to you and are often reoccurring. Names such as Yinoghu, Obliex, Zuktmoy, Baphomet, Dagon. All of these are listed as demon lords that command their own armies. And this is just in the first chapter. With a 14, that's about all you get through. It's very dense. It's a bit of a dry read. But it does seem oddly, what's the word I'm looking for? Oddly fitting with everything that's been going on that you found this book at this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you read that into the night?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make a history check for me,
Okay.
real quick.
Ooh.
Nice.
Huh. Wow, a natural 20. If you'd only rolled that natural 20 last roll, this would have been a very different session.
Damn.
Yeah. You lay down in bed, take your night's rest. And Orville, of course, tries to get up and he curls up in your arms as you put on, and you lay there for a second, thinking about what you've just read. And a number of things do kind of race through your thoughts. The eternal war between demons and devils. That's what Trias and Ramus was running from. Asmodeus is in the bottommost layer of the Nine Hells. Jonah was dealing with a devil from the first layer. How bad could Asmodeus be if that was the first level? Other thoughts begin to tickle you. You remember hearing about the dragon god Tiamat being imprisoned in the Nine Hells. Perhaps there's a connection there. As well as the name Zuktmoy. You've heard that recently. From who? You don't entirely remember, but this book does seem incredibly coincidental. Perhaps not a coincidence at all. So, at this point, we're going to move to the next day. Does anyone, before we do, have anything else they wish to deal with?
Nope.
I'm staying up.
No. You're staying up and reading, obviously.
Yep.
Are you staying up into the night? Do you want to take a point of exhaustion?
I'm taking a point of exhaustion.
Okay, so are you reading for the full 8 hours?
Yep.
So at this point, if you stop at 11, if you were to stop at 11, that would be your 8-hour rest.
Yep.
Are you reading right up until, like, what time in the morning?
I'm going to read while eating and then leaving for the presentation.
So you're just keeping your nose in the book.
Yep.
Let's say you read until about 9:30. So take your point of exhaustion, and you can tack on another 10 and a half hours.
Yep.
Mo, that is an option for you as well.
I'm good. I don't want that exhaustion.
Okay. So at this point, it is now the day of the lecture. You've all woken up. Zane, you are back at home. Zane, your father did pass on to you as well that the lecture is at 10, and you know the lecture hall that it's at. You're all at breakfast. As you're eating, who is going with Quirin to this lecture?
Zane will go.
Okay. So Zane, you'll be traveling there on your own. Or do you head to the tavern in the morning for breakfast?
You know what? Yeah, I want to head to the tavern.
Okay, meet up with them. All right. So Zane's going, Quirin's going. Who else?
I'll go.
I'll go.
Zaz, Mo, Alastair.
I'm gonna look at everyone else. Oh, don't make me go. I don't want to go.
Don't.
Everybody else is going, and I feel like I'm gonna miss out.
Don't be a bitch.
All right, so that's one for go.
That is not what I said.
Oh, God. I really. Fine, and I'll take the cloak and I'll turn it to the black side and pull the hood up, and like,
Okay.
I'll just stay in the back,
All
try
right.
to be quiet.
Okay. So, at this point, Zane, because you are with them, they don't need to make a survival check. Matter of fact, Zane, you have been to this particular lecture hall a lot. It's kind of bittersweet coming back here on a day where classes are running. The rest of you, you haven't exactly been at an esteemed place of learning like this before. Quirin, most definitely not. But Zane, you kind of miss it.
Mhm.
You miss the books. You miss the knowledge. You miss working with people and learning various things and being able to come home and tell your parents. You kind of get sidetracked and lead the party in a strange direction for a few minutes, and you kind of catch yourself as, oh, no, it's this way. Zaz, you have the highest passive perception, correct?
Yes.
As you're being led around, something stands out to you that you haven't noticed before coming through this college. There is like message boards around almost every corner, and they are actually like just like plastered with missing person posters.
Okay.
To the point that the newest one is being hung as you walk by. There is, if you were to hazard a guess as you look at each of these boards, anywhere between 25 to 30 missing person posters.
Would there be anyone there that I've seen before?
That are on the posters?
Yeah.
No one you recognize. This is quite a busy, bustling area, and there's a lot of people. So it's not so much that you recognize them, it's just the sheer quantity. And they all look to be in their maybe late teens, early 20s. Like, these are all, for lack of a better term, they're all, teenagers or young adults, like kids.
And there's no particular, like, majority of one race? It's just a little bit of everything?
Just trying to think. Go ahead and make a, you know what? I'm going to say you don't need to make a check for that. No, it's a little bit of everything. All portraits you see are hand-drawn, because the photograph is not really a thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But no, for the most part, you see tieflings, you see dwarves, you see one tabaxi. Like, it's a Mod Podge. There's no pattern here. But it's staggering how many of these posters are up.
Okay.
So, let me get a sip of coffee. You see a cat on the way. It's cute and very small. It's a Siamese and it's gray. All right. So, you walk up to the largest lecture hall, and there's kind of a hubbub. Zane, you know this, but as you enter the building, there's kind of a big kind of front lobby. And then in that front lobby, which is kind of semicircle shaped, there is 6 doors. 6 sets of double doors that each lead off into a separate lecture hall. And there's small groups of students outside each one. The smallest group is at the door that is kind of almost opposite the front door and to the right. And above it on a piece of parchment that has been tacked to the door, it says guest lecture.
Okay, I assume this is the one.
Okay. As you walk up, you're a little bit early, maybe 5-10 minutes early. One sec here. There's a group of students there. There's probably somewhere in the vein of maybe 20, not too many. Just kind of standing there waiting. A lot of them look a little bit older, look like maybe they had some free time. A number of them have books on religion and other things like that. And as you stand there and wait, eventually a middle-aged half-elf with kind of blonde hair that's starting to go gray at like the roots, and glasses, and is kind of strangely too short for a half-elf, walks up carrying a huge stack of books, just dusty, massive tomes. He goes, "Okay, give me 1 second here," and he pulls out a key and unlocks the door. Zane, you would recognize this person as Professor Fafir. You know that he's a professor of outer planar studies.
Okay.
Okay. He kind of walks into the room, and the room itself is tiered downwards. There's 5 tiers, each with tables and chairs on each tier. Kind of like you guys have been in a lecture hall or some sort, or seen one on TV, I assume.
Yep.
It's got that, and then there's a small stage in front with a desk. There's 2 statues in the corners, and he kind of walks down, and everyone kind of starts grabbing seats. And you guys, being a little out of your depth, are unable to get a table together. You know what? Instead of just explaining where you guys go, Why don't I give you a visual aid here?
An invisible aid.
An invisible aid.
Get
Invisible
checked.
See how this
aids.
looks.
Invisible aids?
That's the
Invisible
worst
aid,
kind.
Invisible bead. Invisible seed.
Yeah.
Still living for me.
I appreciate that joke. I
you.
do.
Somebody has to.
Oof.
Still loading. Still loading. Ooh, still loading.
So at this point, you guys can see your own tokens.
no,
pick a chair.
It's still loading.
Well,
I'm in. I see.
I've got one more
There we
chunk.
are. Who is this raggedy number 14?
oh my god. It's just general townspeople tokens. Bear with me.
I want to sit next to someone cool, not this guy.
He's missing an eye. He's got to have a story.
No, not him.
I snag a seat
Lost
next to
his
Zaz.
eye in the blood war between devils and demons, where he's. I'm not going. Okay. So what we have here is Alastair on his own in the back. We have Zane next to a younger individual. Zaz and Mo, you grab a table together, and Quirin, you went right up front, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay.
Where are the exits located?
The exits are at the back. So you see how the stairs are leading up?
Yeah.
In the bottom corners is where the exits would be. I didn't mark them because it didn't really work on the map, but that's where those would be. Thank you for bringing that up.
Alastair's gonna look around for the exits, and then look over at the guy with the weird hat, and then look at the girl he's sitting next to, weigh his options, and then just sit next to the girl.
Okay. So, at this point, the professor, Professor Pfaff here, one sec here. Oh, Professor Pfaff here kind of plops his books down at the desk and goes, all right, so, we have a guest lecturer today, as I'm sure you're all aware. Kind of pauses and looks down for a second and goes, I've asked this particular individual to come slightly late because I do want to have a discussion with you. This individual represents the ranks of Akron, which historically is a radical sect in the southeastern portion of Dragontail Coast. Some of the views and practices you may hear today may disturb you. I'm not entirely sure what this lecture pertains to. However, it is the second in our series of lectures. I recognize a couple faces here who were here for our first lecture on Asmodeus. We are currently trying to get another lecturer for Bahamut, I believe, is the next one. That will be in probably a few weeks, maybe next season. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see what we can do. So, just as a warning, I am here to supervise. However, I am doing quite a bit of research myself. So I will have my nose in a book, but if anyone feels uncomfortable, be known that you can leave. Am I clear? There's kind of a nod of approval. That was excellent. So, at this point, I suppose we wait. And you sit there. A minute passes. 2 minutes pass. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. And as about you reach the 15-minute mark, you do hear a door open. And all of you which have been sitting there uncomfortably look. And what you see is a human male in his 40s. He's got kind of a salt and pepper hair thing going on with a very pointed goatee. He's got a weathered face that looks like there might be scars, but more or less the face of someone who spent most of their days in the sun working. for most of their life. He walks in and he's wearing relatively simple gray and white robes, kind of held together with a black rope around his midsection. And around the openings where the head goes and the hands come out, there appears to be black chains. Alastair, you recognize these robes.
Oh, yes, I do.
He kind of walks down with a commanding presence, and Fafnir goes, I assume you're our guest speaker for the day. He goes, excuse me 1 second. I've got a bit of a dry throat, so I apologize. He kind of goes, yes, my name is Pavel Utragard. I am High Bishop and a religious historian for the ranks of Akron. I've been informed to come here and talk to you all today about our religious practices, if you'd be so kind to listen. Professor goes, all right, sir. Well, Mr. Utragard. No, not Mr. Bishop Utragard. Alastair history check.
Okay. History. Good.
Okay. You know the title, you don't know the person.
I don't like him.
Fair enough. So he kind of stands there on this stage, and let me just bring up kind of a marker where he is. The token is not accurate. Before you all say something, because I know you.
Yeah.
Kind of stands there and goes, okay, well, I am currently doing a series of visits to other metropolitan centers in order to dispel some of the rumors and lies that follow the ranks of Akron name. We figured that the opportunity for us to come to the largest center of higher learning in all of Dragontail Coast is one that could not be passed up. So, allow me a little bit to explain the belief system of the ranks of Akron. We worship a god known as Bane. His eyes at this point, Quirin, fall on you.
Big scowl.
He goes, I believe some people here are familiar with this god. Our teachings of Bane, however, are very different than most. There is currently a tome in possession in our headquarters in Eastcliff. This tome is one that I myself have never seen, as it is only the cardinals or higher who have access to it. This tome is very old. It is said to have been retrieved by one of the first pioneers, the first settlers of Dragontail Coast, as they came over the Iron Golem Peaks. This book describes what many have called the Dawn War. Kind of looks around and goes, judging by the looks I'm receiving, this is a familiar thing to a lot of you. For those who aren't, the Dawn War is a myth, a legend, a perhaps historical event that describes the war between the entities that we call gods and the entities that we call primordials. Not a lot is known about this Dawn War. Myth states that the turning point of the Dawn War is when the god Tharizdun descended from the astral sea, flanked by demons, and the primordials and gods had to work together to chain him. At this time, a number of things happened with the gods, causing the birth of such gods as the Raven Queen, Bahamut, and Tiamat. This is not the point in history in which we find our tome describing. Interestingly enough, our tome describes two gods, Akron and Akra. He looks around and he sees people writing. He goes, just for spelling's sake, that is Acheron for Akron, and Akra is Achera. Now, it is believed during this Dawn War that Akron and Akra, brothers perhaps, twins, maybe even lovers, as this tome does not explicitly describe the genders or the relationship of these two gods. The god Akron slayed so many primordials and so many demons that he was given the nickname Bane, that we still know him by to this day. Akra, his partner, his brother perhaps, was jealous of this success and went out to the astral sea to try and find some form of weapon or power to match him. This tome heavily implies that the god Akra never returned. But, as I stated before, what did return was Tharizdun. Once Tharizdun was chained, this tome tells us that he was placed in some form of prison, held in the outer planes. And that our belief is that our god Bane guards this prison as his jailer, preventing any at all from passing or communicating with what is known as the Chained Oblivion. I do not believe it is a coincidence that your previous lecture was about Asmodeus, and I believe your next one will be about Bahamut, as we know that these three are called the Jailers. But that is a tangent. So we've told you our beliefs of our creation, but how about our practices? It's very simple. Bane is a protector. He prevents things from going in and out of this outer plane, and therefore the ranks of Akron shall as well. Any incursions from the outer planes, demon or devil, Slad or Modron, angel or fae or shadow, cannot be tolerated on the prime material plane. Our actions are often deemed as cruel, merciless. We've been called racist by many due to our persecution of a sect of tieflings that I'm sure you all know have infernal blood. These creatures cannot live. They seek to destroy all that you hold dear. And the ranks of Akron are here to defend you all. Thank you. He kind of sits down for a second. And the professor who was reading a book, kind of looks up and goes, is that all? Yes, that is all I have to say today. Professor goes, okay, well, perhaps a question period could work. Would that be okay with you, Bishop Utrigard? Yes, of course. Ask me anything. Anything you wish to know, I will answer.
I'm gonna stand up. So,
Professor.
how much of your bullshit do you actually believe?
We believe quite a bit of it. Laughter does carry out. He goes, I understand that is a interesting statement. As with most religion, myth, and legend, interpretation is necessary.
And the
Not
interpretation
everything
is
can
wrong.
be literal.
Very
Am I?
wrong.
How so?
I have come from a tribe of Bane. They are not protectors. We do not protect things. Bane is a god of war, of fighting, and of power. Of respect. I know.
Kind of looks at you for a second. He goes, yes, I've heard many things about this Stonecrusher tribe, yes?
Yes.
As I said, things are up for interpretation, and if you would so kindly stay afterwards to have a discussion with me, I think you and I have some very interesting notes to pass back and forth.
I sit back down.
At this point, a tiefling stands up and goes, so, with me being a tiefling, would I be one to be persecuted by your ranks? He goes, do you seek to summon your infernal ancestors to the prime material plane? He goes, no, man. I was just born this way. He goes, then no. That is one of the many lies spread about us, is that we kill with reckless, just reckless racism. That's not the case at all. Our targets are selected, and they are ceremoniously executed as they need to be.
Zane looks really unsettled.
Would Mo have heard anything, not necessarily about them, but of people doing these sort of things?
No.
Oh.
Alastair looks very uncomfortable and is gripping the table
You
as
said
hard as he can.
I'm gonna stand up.
Yes,
You said that it's your job to stop incursions from other planes. And although I have not traveled a lot, from what I have seen, your people are failures. They are everywhere. There is obviously some sort of mix-up when it comes to people being sent to the wrong place.
There is. That's a very important point, and thank you for bringing that up. Though
So
your
you'd
question
kill
is
something.
misguided.
So you'd kill something.
I will not
If
be
it-
spoken over. Let's make that perfectly clear. Make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm not within 10 feet of Alastair.
No.
Oh, I forgot the...
Dude.
Nah, dog.
Your mouth is moving, but no sound's coming out. He goes, our loudmouth friend here raises an excellent point. In the past, our practices have not been as necessary as perhaps they are now. Many of you are very much aware to the events that this individual has brought up. This is why the ranks of Akron are expanding as best we can. We hope to set up headquarters in Dragontail. We hope to set up headquarters in Rivermouth, as well as just about perhaps 2 weeks ago, we sent a ship containing some of our best missionaries down to the southern continent of Sarlavar. However, that ship at that time seemed to have been attacked by 2 large stone birds. You all realize that this is the ship that Banoon got on. He goes, I have it on good authority that a number of people died. However, they do continue their travel and should reach the southern continent within the next 5 to 6 days. Expansion is very important, especially with these things coming. I've just been told that a town in your heartland has been invaded by devils. For whatever reason. You all know why.
Mm-hmm.
So, does anybody else have any questions? Alastair, make a strength check for me. You're still silenced, Mo. You can.
I'm
you're
still
just-
standing.
You're still standing. You're still trying to talk. No sound is coming out.
I look at Zaz in exasperation.
Exasperation?
And Zane dies.
Mysteriously.
Ugh,
Dean.
not great.
At this point, Zaz being no, actually Zane, you'd be the closest. You hear kind of a crunch sound, and you look back and you see that Alastair is like sandwiching the table between his hands. Just anger. He goes, so, if nobody has any further questions, and as he says this, you all hear a sound. Just a
Garlic.
There's just a silence, and Bishop Witcherguard looks around and goes, what was that? And his eyes fall on the professor, who at this point has a tome in his hand that he's just unclasped. He looks down, and the sound repeats. A voice fills the entire space with, you want the secrets I found, don't you? As a shadowy specter begins to come out of the book the professor has just opened, forming some sick, twisted caricature of a humanoid, which kind of turns his head and just it falls on the professor and goes, you will be driven mad like I was. And the professor is engulfed. And we will roll for initiative next week.
Oh.